Welcome to today's Explainer. I am beyond thrilled to be here with you because today we're diving into one of nature's absolute greatest and honestly most perilous physical feats. I mean, have you ever looked up at a V formation of birds crossing an autumn sky and wondered what's actually going on up there? Well, today we're going to unpack exactly that. We're talking about a journey that totally defies logic, pushes biological limits to the absolute brink, and literally connects continents. So get comfortable and let's get right into it.
Okay, Section 1. The big question.
So why do birds migrate thousands of miles? That is the central mystery we're looking at today. Think about it. What ancient, deep-rooted compulsion forces a creature, one that sometimes weighs no more than a handful of pocket change, to take on the entire world? It's a massive gamble. To just leave a known habitat and launch into the complete unknown is risky, it's dangerous, and it is incredibly energetically exhausting. The payoff for doing this has to be absolutely huge.
Which brings us to part 2. The drivers of migration.
Look, these birds aren't just doing this for the scenery. The changing seasons act as this giant master clock. As winter approaches in one hemisphere, dropping temperatures don't just mean cold weather, they mean serious resource scarcity. The insects die off, plants stop producing seeds, the water freezes solid. The birds are literally forced into the sky to chase their food. Combine that with the deep biological drive for mating. You know, the need to find safe, resource-rich grounds to actually raise their vulnerable young, and you have a completely non-negotiable mandate. It's simple. Migrate or perish.
All right, moving on to part 3. Thousands of miles.
Thousands. Just let that word sink in for a second. Thousands of miles. We really have to emphasize this staggering quantity to understand that this is an extreme endurance sport. This is not just a quick flight across the county line. Imagine running an ultramarathon, right? But you're doing it back-to-back, week after week, crossing entire time zones, and doing it all without modern navigation tools or any guarantee of a rest stop. That is the everyday reality for these animals.
It really is the ultimate David versus Goliath tension at the heart of our story. You've got this incredibly fragile protagonist, a tiny migratory bird with delicate, hollow bones and a fast-beating heart, pitted against the immense, totally unforgiving scale of planet Earth. We are talking about vast continents, raging oceans, turbulent jet streams, and towering mountain ranges that these tiny creatures must somehow conquer. The contrast is it's mind-blowing.
So let's look at part 4, the incredible journey. And honestly, to call this an incredible journey almost feels like a massive understatement, but it's really the only way to accurately describe what is essentially a meticulously choreographed campaign of survival. It demands absolutely everything from the bird. This isn't just movement. It is an epic undertaking where the margin for error is essentially zero.
When you break it down, every single phase of this trek is a major trial our protagonist has to overcome. It starts with preparation. This is a period of intense feeding where the bird builds up immense fat reserves, literally doubling their body weight so they have enough jet fuel for the trip. Then comes the launch. They have to wait for the exact right weather window and favorable tailwinds. Then we hit navigation, which might just be the most incredible part. They navigate by reading the stars, sensing the Earth's magnetic fields, and following ancient visual landmarks. And finally, arrival. They touch down utterly exhausted, totally depleted of their fat reserves, but successfully positioned to start the cycle of life all over again.
Finally, part 5. Surviving the trek.
This whole thing is just a relentless process of survival. Step 1 is harnessing those instincts. These birds tap into a deep, inherited genetic code that guides them flawlessly through the pitch black and through raging storms. Step 2 is enduring the miles. This means actively fighting off exhaustion, avoiding fierce predators that are just lying in wait along the migration routes, and surviving sudden, brutal shifts in the weather. And Step 3, completing the journey, pushing through those final, agonizingly tough miles to reach the destination that promises life for the next generation.
Which brings us to a really profound question I want to leave you with today. How did these incredible instincts evolve over millions of years? And maybe even more importantly, what do these vital journeys mean for the future of our ecosystem? Because as habitats shift and environments change, these delicate migratory routes are being tested more than ever before. I really hope this explainer has shed some light on the sheer resilience of these animals and maybe leaves you looking up at the sky just a little bit differently the next time a flock passes over. Thank you so much for joining me. Keep asking great questions, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.